Hey everybody, it's Mike and I'm back, and let me get my collar fixed here. Good. Okay, so I'm back and I'm going to talk about something that's, it's the Hare Krishna, so what can I say? But this is actually something that I was personally, that affected me personally and was actually one of the, probably the impetus for my actual breakaway and leaving the Hare Krishna. So it's kind of weird how this whole thing has come around like full circle after 12, 13 years. And this has to do with, well, someone came into my chat, one of my viewers here, and one of my chatters, I forget who it was, but I'll remember, but I don't want to waste time trying to remember. But I believe it was a woman, and she said the Rtviks claim not to have creeps and pedos or anything like that in their groups. And I had to laugh. I had to laugh at that. And lo and behold, another one of my viewers out there, Raphael, sent me a link. And I was shocked at what I saw. Absolutely shocked. And so I had to talk about it right away. Absolutely shocked. I was just like, it blows my mind. But there's a lot to get into, and I want to get into it right after this opening.
Hello?
Hello.
Okay. Hey, so thanks for joining in today's show. I want to apologize for the echo. I am in the new studio, and it's not finished yet, of course, as you can see. And there is some echo in here. I'm trying to eliminate that as much best I can and still do these shows, still go live, even though there's a little bit of echo in there. But anyway, so back to what's going on. So I got sent a link, and I want to share that link with you. I want to show you the video. We're going to watch a little bit of this video. I don't think I'm going to watch too much, and then I'll explain what's going on with this video. Okay, let's see. Let's get into this. Let me see. Whoops. So now my computer is messing up again. Let me see if I can get this fixed real quick. Okay, let's see if I can try this again. Hey, there we go. Okay, let's see. It's working. So let's check this out.
I guess it began when I was 12 years old. Now I'm 70. And without knowing, in this life, without the knowledge of what is Krishna consciousness, what was Srila Prabhupada, at the age of 12, somehow or another, I rebelled against the system which I was brought up into.
Okay, of course, as I always say, every Hare Krishna has their magical mystery tour story on how they became this Hare Krishna person. you know, and he's no different. At 12 years old, he realized he was different than everybody else, and he was on this magical mystery tour journey to become whatever the fuck he is today. I don't know. But of course, we have to hear that story of how he became nobody.
Became a vegetarian.
Of course.
I started searching for the absolute truth.
He was searching for the absolute
Bhagavad Gita
truth.
tells us that
12
three
years
types
old.
of persons come to Krishna.
12 years old.
Those who are seeking money, those who are in distress, and those who are seeking the absolute truth. So I don't think I fell into the category of those who were seeking money, because I had a lot of that. And I gave it all up. It was self-made, but some help from the parents and the family. And
it was self-made, but not by his self. It was self-made by his family.
distress, yes, we were all in distress in this material world. We didn't know which way to go, what to do, our seemingly happiness with our material life, but actually seeking the absolute truth. I was looking in the mountains, I was looking.
Yeah, he had rich parents, but of course, like all hippies, he wanted to reject that and go look for the absolute truth. Of course, knowing that if he couldn't find the absolute truth, he could always go home to mom and dad and their money. I mean, you don't get much more privilege than that. You always hear about these people they say, these people who have money say, "Oh, I renounced it all, and well, yeah, because you knew that you could always go back home." I mean, there were times when my wife left me with a baby. She just took off, and I was with a baby, and I had, luckily, I didn't have rich parents. I didn't have a wealthy family in Beverly Hills who owned a dealership or anything. But they let me come, and they helped me out. And they didn't have anything to help me out with, but they didn't turn their back on me. These people, they come from rich families, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I went off to Europe after high school. I renounced everything and I went off to Europe. I renounced everything." But I always knew that when times got tough, I could always go back home to my rich parents.
Looking in the forests, I was looking in the swamps, I was living in the ghettos with the black people, I was prompting with kings.
He was living in the ghetto with the black people. That just shows you how friggin' racist he is. That just shows you how what he thinks. Let me use the black people as an example of how low you can go.
I was living rich, I was living poor, I was traveling from place to place.
Oh my goodness.
With vows of poverty, trying to understand. And I met what I could call my Vartma Pradaksha Guru. He was the one, Baba Ram Das. He wrote a famous book called Be Here Now.
I read that book when I was in high school, or just out of high school. So what? Baba Ram Das.
He had journeyed to India. Anyways, he introduced me to the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra.
This guy's sitting there with his beads and his flowers and his tilak and his kurta and his dhoti, lecturing people, telling them his story, like his story is so special. Like I don't need to know all this shit. Like, what do I need to know all your friggin', since you were 12 years old? Like, what do I care what you were doing at 12 years old? Like, I'm not telling you I'm not sharing what I was doing at 12 years old with anybody, because who the fuck cares? No, but to these people, oh my God, it's so fucking important. How I went from here to there, and I sat on the floor when I ate my lunch because I didn't want to sit at the table with my mom and dad. So then I went and I I didn't even want to pick flowers because I didn't want to hurt the flower. This is bullshit. You believe this fucking crap?
Indirectly. And I did that, and we traveled as we did, many people did in that time among the hippie communes and things. And probably first heard of Prabhupada way back in 1968 when he was in San Francisco. And like this, life went on and on. And the travels led me to a bus. It was in a house that I was staying with. We were all, a lot of people staying in a house. And the bus had Vishnu John Swami in it. And he's camped out in our house in Fort Lauderdale.
Who gives a shit? Seriously, like, who cares? Like, who are you? Who are you that I need to know all of this crap? It's so fucking ridiculous, these people.
And we did some kirtan with him. And he was only there a night, so there wasn't much, but what is this, right? And they gave me a book, a Back to Godhead magazine, which I threw on the bed, and it went underneath the waterbed. Later it came out, and I dried it, and I read it. And of course, chanting Hare Krishna. Then again, I met him by the will of Providence, meeting devotees in different places, not really understanding, in rock festivals and in downtowns and book distribution, but already chanting Hare Krishna, but not really knowing anything about the Krishna consciousness movement. Then again, it really began, I met Vishnu John Swami and Tamal Krishna Goswami in a bus in a park in Phoenix, Arizona. So they said, when you come to Krishna, you should bring an offering. So that day we went out with a station wagon, and big cars with the back of it.
So I know some of you out there, like, you're going, who is this guy? Who's this Tattva Darshan Das who's on the webpage of, he's on the ISKCON Bangalore Sangha. This was uploaded 9 days ago. ISKCON Bangalore Sangha. So ISKCON just won the Rtvik lawsuit. They're part of ISKCON. They can use the name ISKCON. They can be Rtviks, and they're all happy because they have their legally, they can be Rtviks, good enough gurus, the good enough guru group, and so now they've got this guy. This guy, Tattva Darshan Das, he's lecturing for them now. He's representing them. I guess that they're promoting him. They're promoting him. It says Sri Tattva Darshan Das, a disciple's journey from age 12 to 70, Sri Gora Mandala Parikram, and then it says, ISKCON Bangalore Sangha, uploaded 9 days ago. That's this guy. So who's this guy that ISKCON Bangalore, the top Rtvik temple in India, is promoting on their own webpage? And their whole thing, their Sangha, is promoting this guy. Who's this guy? Right? We should know who these people are when we listen to them talk, right? We should know who is he? Right? Who goes to a lecture to listen to somebody you don't know who he is? Now, you know who I am. I'm Mike Sandoval. I was in the Hare Krishnas for 20 years. I was born in Santa Monica, and I was raised in Culver City. And I went to school in Los Angeles, California. I'm 64 years old. I'll be 64 years old in a couple of months. I'm 63 years old. That's who I am. I worked at Rockwell International, and I worked for American Express. and a few other companies. Customer service. That's who I am. And I was in the Hare Krishnas for 20 years, and I've been out for 13. And I was in for 20 years, and my name was Sri Mukunda Das when I was in the Hare Krishnas. And I worked with Yashodanandan and Dhamma and people like that. That's who I am. In case you're like, well, Mike, who are you? Okay, I just told you who I am. So who's this guy? Who's Tattva Das? Well, let's see. Let's find out who he is. This is all from the internet. Okay. You ready for this? This is the person. This is the person that ISKCON Bangalore is lecturing on their behalf, and they're posting his video on their webpage, on their YouTube channel. On their YouTube channel. This is who they're promoting. Times of India. Okay, this is from the Times of India. From March 19th, 2008. Social worker had faced child abuse charges in 2002. Thomas Rapanos Wayne, alias Tattva Darshan Das, who runs an NGO in Karnataka, was arrested in Phnom Penh for sexually abusing two girls aged 12 and 14. This is from the Times of India. Times of India News, March 19th, 2008. Tattva Darshan Das, who runs an NGO in Karnataka, was arrested in Phnom Penh for sexually abusing two girls aged 12 and 14. The age of sexual consent in Cambodia is 15 years. We arrested Wayne and rescued the girls. The 12-year-old girl was a Vietnamese and the other is Cambodian. Kyote, Deputy Police Chief of the Anti-Trafficking and Juvenile Unit, said. The Cambodian police said one of the girls was naked when they stormed the guest house. The girls were being forced to perform oral sex on Wayne, who was trying to put a condom on when police broke open the door. Action pour l'Enfance, a French NGO working for child welfare, said it had been tracking Wayne's activities in Cambodia for months and had tipped off the Cambodian police. It goes on and on. Wayne had adopted Tattva Darshan Das as his name in the 1970s after joining the International Society for Krishna Consciousness in the U.S. He came to India in the 80s and founded the Bhaktivedanta Eco Village in 1992. Confirming the arrest, Chaitanya, who now manages the NGO, told Times of India that his father was framed by his enemies and that he would be going to Cambodia to hire a lawyer to bail him out. And it says he was framed, but it goes on. Wayne has been in trouble with the Indian authorities in the past. By Chaitanya's own admission, Wayne was detained for questioning by the police 7 years ago after a complaint of child sex abuse from an ISKCON devotee. Which his son again denies. However, Hare Das, head of ISKCON's child protection team, said Wayne had been removed from all official positions at ISKCON following similar child abuse charges in 2002. So ISKCON, Hare the head of ISKCON's child protection team, said that this person had been removed for similar child abuse charges in 2002. And here it is in 2008, and he finds himself in jail in Cambodia. So let's see, what else is there? Oh, let's see what else it says. This is from a Hare Krishna webpage where it says here, ISKCON's cover-up of Tattva Darshan's dark history. And it says here, under cover of anonymity, a devotee provides the following information about Tattva Darshan. The worst thing is that ISKCON has been aware of Tattva Darshan's pedophilia pastimes for years, but he has remained in good standing and as an ISKCON authority all this time. He even runs a charitable school for poor children on the ISKCON farm near Kollur. The following letter from Hare Sari Das shows that ISKCON has long known about these illegal activities, but only acts against him when their own image may be spoiled. Abhiram Das was the GBC of Tattva Darshan and in charge of the Kollur farm and ISKCON temple. Okay, it says from an anonymous devotee who worked with Tattva Darshan for years. They allege that Tattva Darshan was caught by the police in Bangalore a few years ago having illicit sex with 2 boys and 2 girls less than 13 years of age. He tried to run over a policeman and escape. The policeman jumped into a ditch and got injured. He was taken to the police station and beaten badly for 4 hours. So this story was reported in the local paper with Tattva's photo. I don't even want to go on with this because it's just too gruesome and it's just all alleged. You can read it if you want. But it does say a letter from Hare Sari Das. It says, I read your comments about the Tattva Darshan case, and I understand why you have reacted the way that you have, considering the ordeal that you had to suffer. I supported you in that, and at least morally, even if I couldn't do anything practical to help, I felt you had been a victim of a frame-up and had no qualms in coming forward to say so. Tattva Darshan's case, however, is however different, and I would like to explain why. Okay, so they had, basically what it says is they'd been tracking him for a while. They'd been tracking him, and they caught up with him, and he was arrested. Okay. All these other cases, I don't want to repeat these things because I don't know about. I just don't know. It's just there's just too much. There's too much here for me to safely repeat this stuff. It says, this headline says, Hare Krishna leader accused of pedophilia in Cambodia. And then, of course, there's another one that says here, Bhaktivedanta Eco Village Tattva Darshan Das, convicted sex offender. It says Tattva Darshan Das, founder of Bhaktivedanta Eco Village, was last year convicted of intent to commit a debauchery. And it goes on to explain all about this. The Bhaktivedanta Eco Village in Karnataka State, South India, is a jewel. It goes on, it talks about that. It talks about the article. So these Rtviks, Jitaratri, it says former advocates of reform, that's the Rtviks, Jitaratri Das, who spent large sums to assist Tattva Darshan during his incarceration, and Mandapa Das, both buddies of Tattva Darshan who were in Cambodia with him at the time of his arrest, along with Mahashringa Das, another old buddy, are members of this board and they are the ones that helped get him out of this this situation. Now, he was convicted. He was convicted in Cambodia, and the evidence was pretty much overwhelming. So Jitaratri has come up with this great idea on how to excuse his behavior by saying Jitaratri is adamant that Tattvadarshan is not a pedophile. Why is Jitaratri denying that Tattvadarshan is a pedophile? His contention is that a person is a pedophile only if they are attracted to prepubescent children. The 12-year-old girl in the Phnom Penh hotel was not prepubescent. Therefore, according to Jitaratri, Tattvadarshan is not a pedophile. His intent to commit debauchery on a 12-year-old girl, however, does make him a pedophile. That's the law. Jitaratri has been preaching to devotees recently how a girl is at her most attractive when she reaches puberty, 11 or 12. And that the age of consent is a Western notion at odds with sex life beginning at puberty, which is Vedic. So they want us, so right there you can see where Jitaratri is saying that sex life should begin at puberty. When a girl starts to menstruate, 11, 12, 13, it's okay, because it's Vedic. It's perfectly okay for a grown man, this grown man, it's perfectly okay for this grown man to have sex with a 12-year-old, 11-year-old, 12-year-old girl. They're defending it. They're saying he's not a pedophile because she was 11 or 12 doesn't make him a pedophile. That Vedic, in the Vedic terms, he's grown. She's grown. She's grown. He says right here, Jitaratri has been preaching to devotees recently how a girl is at her most attractive when she reaches puberty. That's the same thing that Dhamma Ghosh was telling me. I've repeated that on many shows. Many times I've said that Dhamma Ghosh, the Rtvik in Washington State, was trying to convince me that 11 and 12-year-old girls are the perfect age to get married to grown men. And here you can see it right on the internet on this Hare Krishna webpage. It says right here, Jitaratri is adamant that Tattvadarshan is not a pedophile. His contention is that a person is a pedophile only if they are attracted to prepubescent children. Jitaratri has been preaching to devotees recently how a girl is at her most attractive when she reaches puberty. 11, 12 years old. That's why this guy was touching my daughter. These freaks think that it's okay to touch, molest, and have sex with 11 and 12, 13, 14-year-old girls, 15, 16. There's nothing wrong with it. But it's not 16 and 17. 15, 16, and 17 is creepy. 11 and 12 is, God damn it, that's fucking disgusting. And for these guys to go around preaching that it's okay and that women are at their most, what does he say? Oh, a girl is at her most attractive when she reaches puberty. 12, 13 years old? These old guys want 12 and 13-year-old girls because they don't talk back, they don't act up, they're too scared to do anything. Fucking Jitaratri saying that a 12-year-old girl is at her most attractive. That the age of consent is a Western concoction. Yes, to keep creeps from you from molesting little girls. Yes. It absolutely is. To keep old creepy guys from you from having sex, just grabbing an 11-year-old girl and fucking raping her. Talking them into friggin', if you do this, and I'll take you for a ride in my truck, or whatever the fuck it is. You fucking disgusting pieces of shit. Fuck. They knew all about all this shit with this guy. All the times he's been accused of molesting children. All the shit that was going on in his school. He's got a school for little kids. He's got a school for little kids in India. Meanwhile, he's traveling to Cambodia, where the age of consent is 15. I mean, come on, man. Rtviks pretty much is giving it away when he says, yeah, at 12 years old, no problem. He giving away the plot. That's exactly why he was going to Cambodia. You can have sex with 12 and 13-year-old girls. And Rtviks wants to defend that. Because you can't say, well, no, there's no other excuse. I have to say that it's okay. What else can I say? What else can this fucking creep say? Except that it's okay. That's what this guy was telling me on the phone. You don't understand, Prabhu. That's why you're an offender, Prabhu. You think that 11-year-olds is too young, but you don't understand Vedic culture. You don't understand the Vedic scriptures. You don't understand Vedic whatever the fuck. I understand your fucking Vedic disgusting pedophile shit. I understand that perfectly well. Fucking, look at this guy. Look at this fucking, this is the guy that was trying to tell me 11-year-olds, nothing wrong with 11-year-old girls. Damagosh says, the last part of my trip was BEV, Bhaktivedanta Eco Village in Karnataka, South India, a 2-hour drive from Udupi, into the mountains. And for me, this area is one of the best parts of India. The people here are more pious, is cleaner, and the geography is hilly and jungle-like at the times, with a lot more water than the northern counterpart of India. This place is like a jewel in a golden setting. Blah, 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 blah. And it was put together less than 20 years ago with a labor of love by Tattva Darshan and all his associates. I can quite truthfully recommend this ashram called BEV, which also has a wonderful school going on daily as a fit place for any devotee of the Lord to reside for the rest of his or her life. That's what I said in the beginning. These Rtviks are only with this Tattva guy because they want to go live on his farm when the end of the world comes and they retire and they can go, they told me that. In addition, one can be part of the overall growth and development which is now taking place. If you want to know more, please contact Tattva Darshan or his son. Excuse me. Okay, so this is the Damagosh praising Tattva Darshan and his Bhaktivedanta Eco Village. So now I'm going to get back to over here. I got to go back and forth to make this all, so this can all make sense. Oops, let me see. Where do we go? Okay. So he says, getting back to BEV, Bhaktivedanta Eco Village, the Bhaktivedanta Eco Board are anxious to promote the project. To this end, their tacit approval was given to an article by Damagosh Cedro Woolley Washington. He's one of the head Rtviks that I was working with when I was in the Hare Krishnas. In his article, Damagosh writes, I can quite truthfully recommend this ashram called BEV, which also has a wonderful school going on daily as a fit place for any devotee of the Lord. Okay, so it says, If you want to know more, please contact Tattva Darshan. As a precaution against flack, Jitaratri did warn Dhamma to not mention Tattva Darshan's name in the article, a point carelessly overlooked by Dhamma. So why would Jitaratri ask this of Dhamma? Exactly. Worse, Dhamma conveniently neglected to mention in this article that the contact person he named must register as a sex offender if he intends to visit the USA. The general populace in most Western countries are warned about sex offenders. Isn't it even more important for devotees to likewise be informed, instead of being yet again on the receiving end of a cover-up? To give credit where credit is due, Yashodanandan Prabhu, president of the Hare Krishna Society, that was the organization that I was part of, a Rtvik reform organization of which Dhamma is an office bearer, and I was the secretary of that board, wrote, the article by Dhamma has been banned from publication and release on the Hare Krishna Society webpage. Yashodananda sent this remark to myself following complaints about what we will politely call an unbalanced presentation by Dhamma. So I was the one that worked the Hare Krishna Society webpage. That was my thing. That's what I did as the secretary of the Hare Krishna Society. I was the web master, or the web servant, as I called it. I said it was like, I'm the web servant. Prabhupada's the master. Prabhupada's the spiritual master, and I'm the web servant, because I didn't want to call myself the web master. And they all thought that was funny, because they were like, oh, you're the web servant, and I would post everything. They would send me stuff, and I would post it. And so when I found this, when I read this, I went to Yashodanandan and I went, because they didn't tell me they were going to Tattva Darshan's farm. They told me they were going to India. And that they would be gone for 2 weeks while they were in India. They didn't tell me they were going to Tattva Darshan's farm. They kept that from me. I don't know why. I don't understand the thought process, like I wasn't going to find out. But they did not tell me they were going to Tattva Darshan's farm. But they were going to India. They had to tell me they were going to India because they were going to be gone for for 2 weeks. So when I read this, and I was like, wait a minute, you guys went to Tattva's farm? And that's when the whole thing broke loose. I was like, you guys went to Tattva's farm? What were you guys doing there? And that's when they said, yeah, well, Tattva's not a bad guy. Tattva's a good guy. He's not a child molester. He's not this. He's not that. And I just said, I'm done with you guys. Well, it took me a while. I said, why are you protecting this guy? What's the motivation behind it all? I couldn't figure it out. I was confused as to why they would be protecting this guy. And then they revealed themselves to say, he didn't do anything wrong because they were, 11 years old is okay. 11, 12 years old is okay. Prabhupada was 22 and his wife was 11. So when I was like, well, no, that's not okay. I don't buy it. It's not okay. And they were like, well, you're an offender. You're an offender. You're this. You're a blasphemer. Then the threats came. The death threats came. The violence came. The threats of violence came. And I went to the police and I filed a report saying that, hey, I'm a whistleblower. I'm a whistleblower at my church, and I'm receiving, threatening and intimidating emails, and I want to make a report. And they said, okay. And so I made a police report, and then I sent the police report to Yashodanandan, and his wife. To let them know that I wasn't, I went to the police. I went to the police when they molested my daughter, and I'm going to the police when you guys are threatening me. You're threatening me, I'm going to the police. I mean, I don't know what you think this is. I already know you killed that one guy in the van. And you guys are happy to promote your violence, So why would you think I wouldn't go to the police and file a police report and name all of you guys in the police report and then send it to you? I mean, it's the only logical thing to do. I mean, that's what a normal person does. And so that's what happened. So this guy, so here it is, all these years later, and this guy's back in action. He's back in action. He's being promoted by the main Rtvik group, the head Rtviks in Bangalore. He's given a class, and I wonder what he's talking about. Let's see.
Big circle like this. And on the top, the stairs come out and people come out from the different planes, from the different side, right? So for months before Prabhupada's coming, he even asked, why is it every temple I go to smells like fresh paint? Everything would always be ready, and that was the mantra, Prabhupada's coming. And we were just totally absorbed in it. Everything we did was, we're going to meet Prabhupada. Prabhupada's coming here.
These fucking freaks, I swear to God. Fucking freaks. Prabhupada this and Prabhupada that. Suck my dick, your fucking Prabhupada crap. Sounds so foolish. Sounds so stupid. Who cares? Guys belong in jail. And these guys belong in jail. These pedophiles belong in jail. Instead, they get to sit on a little chair and act like they're fucking Mr. Holy Man. There's another one sitting there like he's Mr. Holy Man. He's going to preach. His buddies had to get him out of jail. They can't even defend what he did. They got to say that what he did is okay. They can't even defend it. They can't even defend it. They can't. They got to defend it. They can't even admit that he did something wrong. They're above the law. The law says you can't have sex with a 15-year-old girl. So what? The Vedas say I can. The Vedas say women are ignorant and have small brains. The Vedas say women like to be raped. The Vedas don't have a age of consent. I can have sex with a 10-year-old if she's menstruating. Who cares how emotionally and mentally developed she is? As long as she's physically developed, I should have my way with her. That's what these fuckers think. Who defends having sex with a 12-year-old girl? A 70-year-old man, a 65-year-old man, a 50-year-old man having sex with an 11-year-old girl, 12-year-old girl? You're going to defend that and say it's Vedic? You hear what these people are saying out there? They're saying that a man can have sex with an 11-year-old girl, that it's Vedic. You have to accept it. It's Vedic culture. 5,000-year-old tradition. It's in our books. How dare you? How dare you say we can't have sex with an 11-year-old girl? How dare you? These guys are fucking disgusting, man. This explains why Indradyumna can sit there with little girls all over his lap, rubbing them all over the place. Ramananda Roy, bathing little girls and touching their privates. And they put it in the book that he's touching their privates. Why? Because if you can control your head, hey, you can touch little girls' privates too. As long as you're chanting your rounds and you're in control of your senses, you can be a dirty little old man. They think that they can do this shit. They think it's okay. And these Rtviks, they're no different. I don't think that these Rtviks are any different than these other freaks. You got the head Rtvik guy saying that sex with 11 and 12, 13-year-old girls is no problem. Hey, that's when they look their most beautiful. What is that? How do you have respect for women when you say that women look their most beautiful when they're 11 and 12 years old? What kind of fucking freak are you? You think that women are at their most beautiful when they're 11 and 12 years old? And 13? You think it's normal for a grown-ass man to be attracted to an 11 and 12-year-old girl that wants to fucking play with dolls and have a tea party? You think that a grown man should be having sex with a little girl like that? That's Vedic? It just fucking blows my mind. I can't believe that this kind of shit is not on the news. You let these people have their parade through every fucking major city on the planet. These freaks get to pull their chariots around and spread their books. While they're telling people that you can have sex with an 11-year-old girl, 12-year-old girl. Nothing wrong with that. I can't believe that this cult is allowed to fucking exist. I mean, I can't believe it. These Rtviks, Jitteratri, Damagosh. Yashodananda knew not to put that article on the webpage. He knew that, not to put that up there. But he ain't going to say that it's wrong. He just says, I ain't going to put it on my webpage. Yashodananda agrees with all that shit. Don't think that some of them think this and some of them don't. Just some of them don't want to say it. Jitteratri will say it because his buddy got put in jail. Jitteratri's going to come out and go, hey, ain't nothing wrong with it. Yashodananda's going to say, better not to put that on the webpage. You don't think that Madhu Pandit and all these fuckers, they all think the same shit. That's what I've been saying the whole time. Ain't no fucking good Rtvik. They believe the same crap, the same books, the same crap. Women have small brains. Homos belong or mentally or whatever. Farted out of the ass of Lord Brahma. Black people are stupid, belong in the jungles. You can't tell me that these guys don't believe that shit. I know exactly how they believe and what they believe. They wanted me to believe that shit. They wanted me to believe all their fucking homophobic shit while they got homosexual gurus running around. And like, what fucking disconnected fucking world are you living in where you're sitting up there preaching about homosexuality is bad, and meanwhile you got homosexual gurus running around, living with boys in their fucking apartment building? I mean, make it make sense, man. I can't even believe the shit I'm saying sometimes. I say this shit and I can't even believe what I'm saying. It is so insane. The shit they do and the shit they do about child molestation and sex and homos and blacks and women, small, all that shit, it makes the demon head eating the moon seem normal. And they believe there's a demon head eating the moon. You can't make this shit up. If you made this shit up, they'd lock you away and throw away the key. They would L. Ron Hubbard. If you made this shit up in today's world, They'd lock you up. They'd say, I'm sorry, but you're a nut. We need to put you in this nice jacket, and we're going to put you in this padded cell. Because you'd be fucking insane. No, these guys get to sit on a little chair and lecture people like they got something to say. Like his magical mystery tour is so important that at 12 years old, he became a vegetarian. Like, so fucking what? Oh, I rejected materialism. Oh, yeah, lucky you. Your dad was a fucking millionaire or whatever. You could reject materialism. But you know what? Those poor black people that you lived with in the ghetto, they couldn't reject materialism. You know why? Because they didn't have shit. You, on the other hand, you could play poor person and then just go run back home to rich daddy and rich mommy. Well, fuck that shit. You should have got your ass kicked in the ghetto when you were living with the black people. And just the way he says, the black people, you know he's fucking racist. Just the way he said it. I lived here, I lived there, I lived in the ghetto with the black people. These people are fucking disgusting, man. If you're in this fucking cult, man, I hope it's getting through to you what these people think, what they believe. I mean, seriously, man, if you're in this shit, you're watching this video. You're watching this shit. And you're going, these Hare Krishnas know all about this guy. And they're letting him sit on this chair and lecture people like he's a freaking Dalai Lama. Like he's a fucking Dalai Lama, like he's a fucking holy man. What'd all that chanting do for you when you end up in Cambodia with a fucking 12-year-old girl? Fucking disgusting. Disgusting. This is reality, man. This shit is reality. It's no fucking joke, man. Harming kids with fucking consent. ISKCON Bangalore putting this guy's video right up on their webpage. Dama Ghosh, Jitaratri, Yashodanandan. They don't have a problem with this. Top Rtviks, Madhu Pandit, doesn't have a problem with this. These Rtviks they don't have a problem with this. And they're going to sit there and talk about, well, we don't have pedophiles in our group. We don't have shady people in our group. You're all fucking shady. And the fact that you can't recognize it, I mean, fucking is the worst thing of all. I don't know, man. I'm fucking disgusted. I'm fucking disgusted to see this guy sitting on his little chair with his flowers and his whole little thing. Like he's some holy man, knowing what he's done, what his past is. What Jitaratri has said. Jitaratri just totally confesses the whole thing. Why would you be defending 12-year-old girls if he wasn't with a 12-year-old girl? Why would Dama Ghosh be defending 11-year-old sex with 11-year-old girls? If he didn't want to have sex, maybe he did, I don't know. Why would you be defending that? Because Prabhupada had sex with an 11-year-old girl, that's why. Prabhupada could do it. Prabhupada did it when he was 22. If Prabhupada could do it, then why? Then it must be okay. It must be Vedic. It must be authorized. It must be okay. If Prabhupada did it, if Prabhupada could do it, anybody can do it then. That's what they're trying to say. Why would Jitaratri be defending sex with a 12-year-old. Let's forget about this Tat Vadarshan guy. Why would Jitterati be defending sex with an 11 and 12-year-old girls? Why? Let's pretend like Tattva doesn't even exist. Why would Jitterati be defending that? Where does Jitterati get the idea that it's Vedic? Where does Jitterati get the idea that 11-year-old girls that they're most where? From Prabhupada's books. That's where. Where do you think he's getting it from? Where's Jitterati getting this idea that 11-year-old girls, 12-year-old girls, prepubescent or pubescent, where does he get that idea? Where does he get the idea that it's Vedic? Is he just making that up? No, he's getting it from Prabhupada's books. Remember, Prabhupada's books are the law books for the next 10,000 years. So if Prabhupada says it in his books, that's the law. If Prabhupada says black people are ugly and they belong in the jungle, then black people are ugly and they belong in the jungle. If Prabhupada says homosexuality is mental illness and those people that is demoniac, guess what? If Prabhupada says you can have a wife at 11, an 11-year-old wife, guess what? Guess what? You have an extremist, out of control, Taliban-like, ISIS-like terrorist group that traffics little kids. They traffic little kids. Listen to what they say and what they do. Read the history. Read what they do online. All I had to do was Google Tattva Darshan abuse, ISKCON. Boom. A ton of shit popped up on my computer. You can too. Just Google it. Google Tattva Darshan Das. You can read all the articles I read. You can read more because there's more. And you can read them all because I didn't read everything. I'm not going to waste your time. But you can all go and do that. I encourage you to go do that. Go read it yourself. I'm speechless now because this guy, I'm seeing this guy. They're acting like nothing ever happened. Again, nothing ever happened. We'll act like nothing ever happened. It's the same old story with these people. Gurus can molest little kids and then bounce out and then come back and then act like nothing ever happened. Gurus can have sex with their 84-year-old gurus can have sex with their 35-year-old disciple, get her pregnant, and you know what? We're going to just act like nothing ever happened. We got gurus get their heads cut off and devotees that get shot in a van on Canfield Avenue. But you know what? We're just going to act like nothing ever happened. Devotees can go to jail in Cambodia for having sex with underage girls or debauchery or whatever they got him for. Probably because he hadn't quite had sex yet. He was still putting the condom on, so he hadn't quite done it yet. This is the shit. These are the people that have their parade don't forget, these people have their parade every year in your city, spreading their books and all their crap, having their festival in your city, down Fifth Avenue, on Venice Beach, Golden Gate Park, been doing it for 50 years. They're very proud of it. What they do. All right, I'm going to end it here. I'm I'm disgusted with this whole thing. I want to thank Raphael for sending me this video clip. The link to this video, so I could see this. I'm still in shock that ISKCON Bangalore is promoting this guy. It's amazing. But it's not amazing. I mean, it just goes to show you what I've been saying is true. They continue to prove everything that I say is correct. They're just upset I'm saying it. They don't care that this shit's going on. They just don't want anyone pointing it out. They don't care that this guy's giving a lecture. They just don't want me talking about it. They don't care that these gurus are scammers and falling down at 84 years old and having sex. They just don't want me talking about it. They don't care that this guy got this woman pregnant and now he's whatever the bullshit is. They really don't care. But they don't want me talking about it. They don't want anybody talking about it. It's like you showed Ananda. You showed Ananda. He didn't mind that Dhamma Ghosh went to Tattva's farm, but he didn't want anyone to know about it. He didn't want anybody to know that they went to Tattva's farm. He didn't have a problem going to Tattva's farm. He just didn't want anybody to know about it. They don't have a problem with these guys. They just don't want me talking about it. If they didn't want me talking about it, hey, how about you kick these guys out of your fucking cult? How about you do that? How about you give me nothing to talk about? How about you say, oh, this guy, he's out. A guy had sex with his 35-year-old disciple. He's out. I got nothing to talk about. You guys give me something to talk about every fucking day. And then you want to blame me for talking about it. It's typical. That's the typical fucking attitude, mentality, the mentality of a fucking criminal. They're not upset that they do crimes. They're upset that they get caught and exposed. That's what pisses them off. All right, everybody, I want to thank you all for watching. I hope you learned something today. Please hit the like button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button. I'm really trying to reach as many people as I can. Thanks, everybody, for watching. If you're watching on the replay, thanks for watching on the replay. You can hit the like button, too, on the replay. Everybody have a great day, great night, great morning, great afternoon, wherever you are. Please have some great luck. And please stay out of this dangerous piece of shit cult, okay? Thanks, everybody. And here you can watch me being a Hare Krishna once upon a time.